Well, I could have rushed the top 10 best and worst hits of 2022, just like I did last year, spending the whole Christmas holidays for that. But look at that flat line. Dead as fuck. So, I'm doing this instead. Hope this pays off. Welcome. I am Emir, and let's look back, in hindsight. My sibling loves to regularly play songs from 2 and 3. But strangely, not from 1. But that's not the reason I'm doing this review. Or series of reviews. What got me thinking about High School Musical was an incident from a long time ago, 2019. When an ex-colleague, out of nowhere, without any prompting whatsoever, just like in musicals, blasted another ex-colleague with, "We're breaking free!" Maybe because both ex-colleagues were wearing denim jackets at the time? Do you see any denim jackets in this scene? I don't know, and I don't care, but it got me thinking. What exactly is the legacy of the High School Musical trilogy? The power can't be just nostalgia, right? What wisdom does it have to share with the world? So I had to know. Let's find out together. Because we're all in this together. HSM1, as nobody calls it, was the result of choices. It was the result of a shift by Disney Channel, not the Disney Channel, just Disney Channel. That change of name was a choice too, by the way. HSM1 was the result of a shift by Disney Channel towards the demographic not served by Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. Tweens. And because mystery series never worked for the House of Mouse, I wonder what that mystery series was. The network went for comedy instead of drama. Yes, because the only way you can watch the HSM trilogy now, as an adult, maybe even as a Gen Z, or younger, I don't know, I'm not one. I am old. Or as we say in Filipino, tanders. Yes, because the only way you can watch the HSM trilogy now is if you consider them as comedies. These are just for kids? Tweens? Am I right? Don't take them too seriously. Right? Right? HSM1 was the next logical step after musical episodes of both Even Stevens and That's So Raven. I watched both shows back in the day, but I don't recall ever watching their musical episodes. They probably seemed to fit with the rest of the episodes. That's why I don't remember them. HSM was pitched by producer Bill Borden as, quote, "Think Grease meets Romeo and Juliet, with warring social cliques replacing warring families," unquote. I have never seen Grease, nor do I plan to. I've seen Face Off though, so Adele Dazeem. But Romeo and Juliet? Spoilers about warring social cliques HSM1 is not. Putting it that way was a choice. A deceptive choice. What is HSM1 really about? A daddy issues movie? Nah, son. HSM1 is not the best Goofy Max movie. I said the best Goofy Max movie. Perfection. So, what was the point of HSM1 then? Stick around to find out. You can't hurry, love. No, you'll just have to wait. Can't believe I made a Phil Collins reference out of nowhere. You know, just like Disney. I'm a Phil Collins and I'm still singing in the background. Let's run down the other choices made in HSM1. The movie is set in East High School, home of the Wildcats, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, United States of America. Again, I have to keep saying that. I'm not from the USA, USA, USA. But the movie was shot in East High School. It has a longer official name, but I'm just calling it East High. East High, home of the Leopards, Salt Lake City, Utah, also in the United States of America. Why not just set the movie in the Utah school, the school in real life? Rasputin, maybe. But once HSM took off, well, just look at where HSMTMTS is set. Why shoot at Utah? Money! No, this is the House of Mouse we're talking about. So, hello money, I love you. The state government of Utah, USA, provided $263 United States dollars worth of production rebate for the House of Mouse to shoot HSM in the state. This is where your taxes go. By the way, that citation in the HSM3 Wikipedia article? Wrong source. Failed verification. Finally, I get to say something else other than citation needed. Moving on to the picks for the Wildcats. Everyone cast, at least the main ones, they were already working performers when they auditioned for HSM1, according to Judy Taylor, then Vice President of Casting and Talent Relations for Disney Channel. The role of Chad Danforth went to Corbin Blue, who also had movie and TV credits on his belt. The son has had a more successful acting career than the father. I wonder how David Rivers feels about that. I'm pretty sure I bungled up his name, so let me repeat that. I wonder how David Rivers feels about that. Getting bumped off. Or getting kabog. Kabog. Translated from the Filipino kinabog. The meaning should be clear, simply by using the context clue on screen. Vanessa Hudgens, who started performing as early as preschool and who never went to high school, instead she was taught by tutors, was cast as Gabriela Montez. Before HSM1, she had appeared on TV, on commercials, shows, the coming of age or Bildungsroman movie 13, and the poorly received Thunderbirds, which was a reboot or remake or reimagining, reduce, reuse, recycle of the 1960s series. HSM1 would be her first lead role. Cast as Troy Bolton was Zac Efron, whose acting credits before HSM1 included a movie where his character wanted to go horse racing, but his father wants him to go into baseball instead. Hey batter batter, hey batter batter swing. Also, your team leader, not a singer. Foreshadowing in more ways than one. Efron was also on the show Summerland, where he co-starred with Kay Panabaker, Debbie Berwick on Phil of the Future. I'll get back to Panabaker later. I bet Summerland is all but forgotten today. But a content creator who may want to make a career out of Efron's work would not necessarily be empty-handed. A YT channel from 2006 uploaded Efron's scene from that show and did not get yeeted out due to copyright after all these years. Really puts into perspective just how exactly the copyright owner cares about this forgotten majesty. The horse movie also got a review, so check that out, I guess. Efron and Hudgens, or Zanessa, as yes, I remember everyone calling it back in the day. They were inseparable as early as the auditions phase. If only that lasted forever. Totga? DCOM Halloween Town veteran Lucas Graybill took the role of Ryan Evans. He also previously appeared in non-Disney TV shows. Chosen to play Sharpay Evans was another Disney veteran. Well, veteran eventually. You there, Candy Girl. My name's Maddie. Yeah, Candy Girl. Insert laugh track here. Also, you just saw Candice snitching on Phineas and Ferb to her mom. I was watching Sweet Life of Zach Cody. Wa. Arabic. Or Arabic. English. I was watching Sweet Life when I first watched HSM. And the whiplash was real. Of course, that's a mark of a good performer. Ashley Tisdale also had TV and theater credits on her belt. But you know, verification needed. Cast as Taylor McKessie was Monique Coleman. Before East High, she already had a career in theater and TV. Again, can't verify them though. You'd think these would appear on her LinkedIn profile. But nope. Not even sure if that's hers. One thing's for sure, she got to work with James Earl Jones. No, not that. Simba. There we go. Fun fact, Coleman had finished college, if judging from that LinkedIn profile. She had finished college before entering high school. No, she wasn't accelerated. It wasn't just her. Coleman, Graybill, and Tisdale were all way above high school age. People lying about their age. Oh, how original. Strangely, I don't know why the fact that they were overage did not shock me back in the day. But Jason Earls, being 31 years old then, did. A random user chose to describe HSM1 back in December 2005 in this way. Quote, "It is about a basketball star in high school that tries out for the school's musical and the problems that go with it." Unquote. Pretty vague about those problems now, are we? Going back to that whole premise, the movie could be about a new kid who doesn't want to be known as the, quote, "freaky genius girl again," unquote, the movie's words, not mine, or the, quote, "drama geek," unquote, again, that's the movie's way of putting it, not mine, who has to deal with amateurs who think it's all just fun and games. But no, the plot choice to promote this movie is to make it about the, quote, "lunkhead basketball man," unquote. Guess where I got that description too? Choices were made. Why stop at Wikipedia for the premise though? You know how the saying is, citation needed. So I checked the official website back in December 2005 just to see how Disney Channel chose to tease this movie. Correction. Tried to check. I failed because the Wayback Machine snapshot keeps on redirecting me to a page telling me to install Flash. No way. I went to YT instead and found this promo. No idea if this is the real deal. I remember seeing this promo but with a different narrator or narrator. Again, English. I remember seeing this back in the day, but maybe this is another case of the Mandela effect. Look at that ad. With all its potato quality and fish-eyed lens glory. It appears the choice the House of Mouse made to promote this movie can be best summed up in one word. Drama. Guess they're shooting for that angle again after failing miserably. Also drama? Am I watching a DCOM or a telenovela? Or teleserye for Filipino BTIN viewers? I don't know if those exist. Let's dive deeply into the movie. The spotlight shines on Bolton in a tux. He says, quote, "I can't sing," unquote. Bolton knows he can't sing. That's why Drew Seeley provided the singing voice. Billboard magazine, yes, that Billboard magazine I keep showing in my one-hit wonders, says that some tracks blend Seeley's and Efron's vocals, while some tracks are Seeley's vocals alone. The article even alludes to Milli Vanilli, which will be the subject of a future one-hit wonder. Maybe someday, I don't know. Subscribe and ring the bell, and comment on the YT page of this video if you're interested on that. Dubbing, blending voices, that's a choice too. A classic Hollywood choice, if I may add. A choice nonetheless. The consequence? Efron could not participate in the High School Musical, The Concert. Maybe. That's just a theory. A non-MatPat theory. The great and mighty Free Wiki says that it's because of hairspray. But again, citation needed. Going now into plot choices. Yes, I will unashamedly get nitpicky. I hate how this movie calls out Montez for staying in a quiet corner to read. Look, she's not even studying, okay? Guess this movie disapproves of leisurely reading. And maybe even of literacy. But that's a rabbit hole I'm reserving for another content creator. If I were in Montez's shoes, I'd be studying or working on Emir's BTIN. And I'd wear noise-canceling headphones from... Oh wait, this video is not sponsored. Sad. Hey, at least the movie starts strong with the I Want song. Start of something new. The man, the person, can't assume what their sexual orientation or gender identity or expression. We have to be sensitive. That person volunteering Zaneza to sing, I volunteer you, says quote, hey, you know someday you guys might thank me for this. Or not. Unquote. One, I don't thank that person, and I'll say my reasons in a while. And two, his lines were obviously dubbed. Fast forwarding. The person not wanting to be known as the quote, freaky genius girl, unquote, again? Gabriela points out to the teacher during class that the equation is wrong. So much for not wanting to be the freaky genius again, huh? Inconsistent story choices were made. That's what I'm saying. Portraying the other auditionees as incompetent, as not even trying, as not fitting the theme, you'd think the student performing the operatic piece befitting a spring musical would actually prepare something that fits the winter musical subject of the auditions. And this movie even has the gall to tell the spoken word poetry performers that their performance, to quote Darbus, was just very disturbing. Go see a counselor. Unquote. Well, let's just say college won't judge them. These little things, well, they were choices. I'll have to refer to the Evans by their first names because, I can't use the last name because they share it. Hello, Captain Obvious. Ryan rolling his... Again, I have to be careful about that. I'll explain that shortly. Ryan rolling, well, the ice on Sharpay is certainly a choice, but also a hint of what's to come. Suddenly, Ryan turning on the sibling in HSM2 does not seem out of nowhere. That's showbiz. Another choice is the Evans siblings singing to each other what can be interpreted as a love song. Gives awkward Osmond vibes. Hey, this is not a diss on Donny Osmond. Let's get down to business! Remember when I was hesitating being careful on what pronouns to use to describe Ryan? It's because of this. Ryan Evans is gay. It was obvious to young me, gaydar, and director and choreographer Kenny Ortega confirmed this in Lockdown 2020. Graybill, though, who based the portrayal of Evans on Ortega's experience, had a different point of view. Graybill said that the character was still in a journey of self-discovery. Which is which then? Where is the lie? No matter the case then, I had a classmate in grade 6, or the 6th grade, who loved HSM1 and was as flamboyant as Ryan Evans. I guess Ryan, whether firmly gay or still in a journey of self-discovery, I guess Ryan meant the world for that classmate of mine. I don't know. I don't have contact with them after all these years. But if you are, comment on the YT or Odyssey page of this video. Darbus bending the rules, not once, but twice, is also a choice. Who Darbus was favoring, Bolton or Montez, would become clear in HSM3 senior year. More skipping. Time skip. That's just how I roll here. Montez accidentally throwing jolly cheesy fries. Does anyone remember that? Montez actually throwing jolly cheesy fries on Sharpay Evans is a climactic, cliched, and cheesy choice. No, those are not the 3 C's of HSM1. Bop to the Top, which is not in my sibling's HSM playlist. She has never explained why. Bop to the Top is best played with the I Regret Nothing chicken. Bop to the Top being HSM1's Poor Unfortunate Souls, or Be Prepared, or Hellfire. Yes, that was a choice. You know what else is a choice? Me describing Bop to the Top with those classic villain songs. The quote, evaporate tall person, unquote. That was a choice. The stick to the status quo plot point, that Bolton's a team leader, not singer. Did you ever think that maybe he could be both? That plot point, it was resolved an hour and 10 minutes into the movie. It even goes the misunderstanding route a la Shrek 1. Remember this scene with the friends being jerks. Their word, not mine. These are the friends Bolton will stand up for in HSM2. For now, I'll say this. Stick to the status quo? Breaking free? That's not HSM's legacy. Instead, that plot point's role was to hide the true message of the movie. Whether that's intentional or not, that's up for you to decide. Let me know by commenting on the YT or Odyssey page of this video. Let us now pull back the curtains and uncover what is High School Musical 1 really about. 3 points, which I will illustrate with 3 C's. First, we have to make a choice. You have to decide, I have to decide, should you stay where you are or should you go? Or as HSM1 puts this bluntly, stick to the status quo or break free. You will hear me repeat this line, this set of lines from the promo to illustrate the point. Coach Bolton pleads, quote, your team leader, not a singer, unquote. The movie goes to great lengths in order to show that Romeo and Juliet parallel of forbidden love. Bolton and Montez secretly go to the auditions and then covertly prepare for the callbacks, practicing their piece while away from the prying eyes of everyone else. Unfortunately, that way of putting things overlooks one key point of life. No person can be everything. No person, no matter how brilliant they can be, they can never be everything. Because I'm a painfully limited person, I'll use my YT channel as an example. Emir's BTIN, balik tanaw / in hindsight. As you can see from my channel, I am not a one-trick pony. I have videos on multiple topics. Top 10s, one-hit wonders, songs, poems, lost in translations, movie reviews, TV show reviews, and law videos. Well, yeah, some law reviews. My Bill of Rights is not enough video, my residual powers video, and my video on AI art and copyright. Those are law reviews. But I also have other, non-review related law videos. Law and food, law and business. Well, I just mentioned law and art, law and space, law and education, law and democracy, law and human rights, law and consent, and yes, even law and love. But here's the thing. I don't make cooking videos. Sure, I used to watch Glenn and Friends. Sometimes I watch Guga Foods. I just watched Guga Foods dry age a steak for 1 year before I recorded the audio for this video. But I don't make my own cooking videos. I love singing. And you can hear me sing in some of my videos. But I don't make covers. 1, because of copyright law. 2, putting things closer to Bolton. Singing on stage is no walk in the park. Sideways explained in the video on why the music in the live-action Disney remakes are awful. Sideways explained that music requires physical training and discipline, both of which I simply do not have. I tried composing songs, starting something new as the HSM opener goes. Guess what? Writing songs is hard. It requires a lot of time and effort, and you guessed it, rarely pays off. The point is, I have my limits. And you do too. And that's alright. We all have our limits. Because surprise, surprise, we can't be good at everything. So we have to make a choice. And no one gets this point better than Sharpay Evans herself. Sure, she may get flack for moving the schedule of the callbacks to the same time of the game and the Scholastic Decathlon. Yes, it may sound selfish, but again, we all have to make a choice. You do, I do, we all do. We have to give up something to get something else. Trade-offs, opportunity costs. This is economics. This is the economy, stupid. So, the Wildcats have to decide. What do they choose? Before that, I'm going back to that stick to the status quo thing. It's not a matter of choosing between stick to the status quo or break free. It's a choice between theater or basketball, theater or Scholastic Decathlon. It's a commitment question. Commit to something, damn it. Don't commit to everything. No one can be good at everything. Even a Renaissance person like Lodi Rizal was not good at everything. Did you see how Rizal spelled Christmas? Which brings me to my second point. The second C. Choices have consequences. I mentioned economic concepts earlier, but it's not just about economics. Consequences. That's life. So when Bolton asks, "Did you ever think I could be both?" the answer should be, as the meme or meme goes, a collective facepalm. No, you can't be good at both. Choose one and stick to it. There's only 24 hours a day. There is no way, absolutely no way, Bolton can work on both being team leader and singer, on top of studies, on top of leisure, on top of that blossoming relationship with Montez, and later on HSM2, on top of work, summer job. Now you'd say, what about passion? Passion can only drive you so long. You will burn out, like Icarus. Careful, Icarus. By choosing both, Bolton can never be good at both. At best, Bolton can only be mediocre. That's the consequence. By asking that wrong question, stick to the status quo or break free, Bolton, and yes, I've never forgotten you, Montez, they never make a choice. In the same vein, they choose both, which means, realistically, they must suffer the consequences of having to work for both, having to hone their skills, their craft, for both tracks. Theater and basketball, theater and Scholastic Decathlons. Singing, performing is no side job. The movie itself shows Troy Bolton missing basketball practice to work on the callbacks. This frustrates Coach Bolton, finally pleading. Yes, I'm repeating that again, that quote. But you're a playmaker, not a singer. Okay? Unquote. Turns out the promo was wrong. I don't know why the ad uses team leader instead of playmaker. But I guess that's a marketing choice. This is where an HSM the series would have worked. Forget that failed lost media pitch. Forget the meta route that HSM TMTS which I have not seen because I am not Gen Z, forget the meta route that show took. This is how an HSM series should have worked. Both lovebirds would have realized that eventually they cannot be both. They just kick the can instead of deciding once and for all to choose one. The basketball team suffers, the decathlon team suffers, their academic standings take hits, and by the finale, Bolton and Montez, or Boltez as nobody called them, finally decide to focus on one and stick by it. Which one do they pick? I hope it's not the cliched choice. Yes, we're all in this together. But the Durkheimian theory of the division of labor in society requires us to focus on one thing and be good at it. And by doing so, the entirety of society will benefit. Which brings me to my third point. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. Instead, what we see is that you can choose both. Theater and basketball, theater and decathlons. That is the long-standing influence of HSM. It teaches the world that we can have our cake and eat it too. Which is just not true. My sibling and I joke about trolls. Tralse. I don't know why I just spelled that now. I will flash the word on screen anyway. Trolls. When you ask someone a true or false question and they answer trolls. Both true and false. That is indecisiveness. HSM is one big trolls. But oh boy, it gets worse. Bolton, Montez, and their gang cheat in order to choose both. Bear in mind that the callbacks, the game, and the decathlon were all scheduled on the same day and at the same time. Do they finally commit to one? No, they don't. Instead, they hack the scoreboard and cause a potentially life-threatening chemical reaction to disrupt the two events and allow our so-called heroes to fly to the callbacks. What do they get as punishment? Nothing. Abso-frigging-lutely nothing. They get to have their cake and eat it too. That's not how life works. There are no cheat codes, kiddos. You do that, you go to jail. Hacking is a criminal offense. Okay, my dear viewers. You would say to me, why are you so being hard about this movie from 2006, Mr. Balik? It's just a Disney movie. To that I answer, let's take a trip back to other Disney movies from the early 2000s. Except Home on the Range, that one's just pointless. 1. Chicken Little. Ah! Okay. I'm cool. I'm fine. I'm cool. Okay, I'm fine. Does Buck Cluck choose to be a father or an asshole? Buck Cluck made a choice. Buck Cluck's choice has consequences to poor Ace. Buck Cluck does not get cake. If he did, he would not be so resentful of Chicken Little. I better stop now. I banished this monstrosity in a dark, damp corner of my mind long ago. Brother Bear. Does Kenai kill the bear or live up to his totem? He makes a choice. He has to stand by it. Imagine if at the end of it all, Kenai chooses to be both a human and a brother to Koda. That would be really weird now, would it? First, how would they communicate? How much would be lost in translation? No, I'm not talking about the pinky swear, the shut up, no you shut up, no you shut up, will you shut up? Certainly, Kenai does not get the cake and eat it too. Treasure Planet. That gem of Disney in the 2000s. I already talked about that choice in my top 10 Disney songs miniseries. I urge you to just watch that. I don't want to repeat it again. It means a lot to me, and I just don't want to break down while reenacting that scene. Atlantis. Recall Vinny talking about the flower shop, or Audrey talking about her mechanic father, or Dr. Sweet warning us not to know Mole's story. Do they choose money for their families, or the life of an ancient but dying civilization? Lilo and Stitch. Nani has to provide for their Ohana and also be a parent for Lilo. But that situation was not of their own choosing. No, the choice was for Stitches to make. To follow his programming to destroy and never belong? Or well, quote, "This is my family. I found it all on my own. It's little and broken, but still good. Yeah, still good." Unquote. Certainly, Stitch does not get to eat cake by choosing Ohana. Stitch must go against destructive programming. The series even explored that. Hamster wheel disguising as a human to recruit Stitch. This is the same episode as the water bottle and the path of goodness. I'm gonna stop now. I'm the only one who remembers this show. Speaking of Disney Channel shows, DCOS, as nobody calls them, Disney Channel original series, DCOS from the same era have the characters suffer consequences for choices. Choices admittedly not always by them. Sweet Life of Zach Wacody. Mr. Mosby has to live with the decision of letting Carrie, Zach, and Cody live in the Tipton Hotel, and the decision of his boss to leave London's parenting to him, Brindle Go Burr. Phil of the Future. Use advanced technology from Hello Captain Obvious to deal with life in the past? Or learn how to do things, well, normally. At least normally in the timeline that they're stuck in. That's so Raven. How do you act with your visions in mind? Lizzie McGuire, Even Stevens. Bottom line, you have to decide. Decision means taking a choice. Just one. Well, you could choose both, I guess. But good luck trying to maintain a balance between your double lives. To Hannah Montana's credit, the consequences of that decision, that balancing tightrope act, was one of the dilemmas of the series, culminating in the movie. Again, makes sense to tell the East High story as a show. Let the Wildcats face the consequences. It's not all fun and games. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Now I realize why that pilot was never picked up. This unrealistic lesson of choosing both also marks a shift from previous DCOMs, Disney Channel original movies. Those don't exist anymore because Disney Plus killed the House of Mouse. Twitches face their destiny, battling the darkness at risk to their lives, or live as the mere mortals they thought they would always be. Kim Possible saw the drama. Chase after an Eric, or as Kim and Ron put it, quote, "Do you really think there's a guy out there for me? Out there? In here?" Unquote. What a rewarding finale! Until the shark jumping season came along. I'll talk about season 4 someday. And by someday I mean my review of HSM 3 senior year. Subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss that, I guess. The Proud Family movie. What a weird way to end the series. But there's still a choice. Does Penny live a lie? Her open-minded but peanut minion family? Or choose her flawed, mostly overbearing father Oscar, but real family? You know what's weirder than the Proud Family movie? The Even Stevens one. But we're not talking about that today now, are we? Pixel Perfect. Now that's a movie full of choices. I may talk about that in the future if you want. Comment on the YT or Odyssey page of that video if you want that review. Eddie's $1 million cook-off. Imagine if Eddie chose both the baseball game and the cook-off. That's what HSM does, and pulls off without any consequences whatsoever. Everyone gets to have cake and eat it too. Read it and weep, at the very least, sticks to the tradition of past DCOMs. Making a choice, showing the consequences, not having cake. But Jump In just went the HSM route of not making a choice, which means choosing both. Double Dutch, jump rope, or boxing? Why not both? I can only imagine the training for boxing using jump rope and training for double dutch. You can't train for both. There are commonalities, but they ultimately require different skill sets. Maybe. I concede I don't know. There's a reason I don't do sports videos. Again, I made a choice. I chose not to focus on sports, so I am ill-equipped to discuss that topic thoroughly. But here's where the division of labor comes in, for the benefit of the entirety of society. To my viewers who have chosen to hone their skills on boxing or double dutch or both, correct me by commenting on the YT or Odyssey page of this video. To put it simply, HSM1 taught the masses like myself that there's no need to make decisions. There's no need to choose one and to stick with it. So to go back to Coach and Bolton, quote, "Your team leader, not singer. You maybe think I could be both?" Unquote. What we should be telling them is this: No, you can't. You're not God, Troy Bolton. And no, Montez, you don't get a free pass simply because you don't have your own Bolton father-son scene. But fine, I guess. Choose both. Don't face any consequences. Have your cake and eat it too. The perfect fairy tale story. Any wonder then that HSM resonated with my generation. No wonder this got 2 sequels. And no wonder the HSM TMTS is influencing the generation after me. But what happens after happily ever after? HSM2 dreams come true? Oh boy, what fun. What do you think of HSM1? What do you think of my review? Do you agree or disagree? Comment on the YT or Odyssey page of this video. Please like and share this video across social media. Please subscribe and ring the bell. And check out other Emir's BTIN Balik Tanaw / In Hindsight videos. Support the show on PayPal, on Patreon, or through crypto. Thank you to my sibling G-G Arts for my avatar. Check out and support her work by clicking the links in the description. Join me and subscribe to me on Odyssey. Link is also in the description. I cannot believe this video did not reach the 1 hour mark. But thanks for watching. Stay safe and take care.